What's happening, everybody? Bob from Crossing Broad here. We have Penn State and Michigan on Saturday night from Beaver Stadium. College game day is going to be there. Big-time conference game, 2 top 25 teams. It's a whiteout, going to be an absolutely electric atmosphere in Happy Valley this Saturday night. If you are looking to bet on this football game, head over to crossingbroad.com/FB. Download Fox Bet. They will give you $20 when you open up your account, and they will match your first deposit up to $100.
You give me a rain.
All right, Penn State people, 3 weeks ago, I took Maryland to beat Penn State. 2 weeks ago, I took Purdue to cover against Penn State. Last week, I took Iowa to cover against Penn State. What will I do this week? We'll get to that in a minute. First thing that we need to look at here, Michigan comes into this game as an overwhelming 9-point underdog. This is the biggest spread of the Jim Harbaugh era at Michigan. And my initial lean when I looked at this was, that's too many points. I'm going to take the Wolverines. We'll work through the information and let you know where I ended up. They're plus 265 on the money line. Total currently sitting at 46.5 points ahead of this game. This is the stat that you are going to hear 50 times between now and kickoff. Jim Harbaugh at Michigan is 1-9 all-time against top 10 teams. Penn State is a top 10 team. He has been terrible against ranked opponents. He's been terrible against top 10 teams. Can he finally get it done on Saturday night? As I said, this is the biggest road underdog spot of his career as Michigan's head coach, and he has not covered as an underdog of 4 or more points since he's arrived at Michigan. Now, what's working in the Wolverines' favor is this. They rolled Penn State last year at the Big House, 42-7. This is a revenge spot for Penn State. Michigan has dominated this series over the last 5 meetings, winning 4 of those 5 contests. So, Michigan does have a little bit of momentum rolling into this game. One thing that I'd be quick to point out, though, Big Ten teams that lost by 35 points or more against a conference opponent and then come back and are favored by 7.5 or more points, we don't see this very often. You think about how far we're going back here. We're talking about all the way back to the 2005 season, nearly a 15-year sample. It's only happened 5 times, but those teams are 4-1 against the spread when they get whooped the year before and come back as more than a touchdown favorite the following season. That's something to think about. All right, so we know all about Jim Harbaugh's struggles at Michigan against top 10 teams on the road as an underdog. All of the trends and all of the history really is going against him heading into this game. There's also some information out there that supports a play on Penn State, and it starts with James Franklin's dominance in prime time at home. Let's check this out. Penn State is 14-4 against the spread under Franklin in games that begin after 7 p.m. Only 5-4 ATS on the road, but a lights-out 9-0 ATS record at home. Also, his teams are 23-14-2 against the spread at home overall, 3-1 ATS when favored between exactly 7 and 10 points, and 14-8-1 ATS at home in Big Ten matchups. That's all good stuff backing Penn State. Finally, they've been awesome in October, 9-2-1 ATS record over its last 12 games played during this month. Now, all of that points to a play on Penn State. One thing that makes me pump the brakes just a little bit here, when teams ranked 1-9 are favored by 8.5 to 10 points at home in conference games, they're only 9-18 against the spread. When those teams 1-10 are playing teams that are ranked 10-20, we have a top 10 team in Penn State. We have Michigan sitting around 16 in some polls. So now if you look at it from that perspective, they're only 4-7 ATS in that situation. But as much as I want to finally be right when I go against Penn State, and as much as I think that 9 points with a pretty good Michigan defense seems like a hell of a lot, everything points to a play on Penn State. I can't get over their performance, Michigan's performance against Wisconsin a few weeks ago. They were never competitive. I watched them almost blow a 28-7 lead against Illinois, a bad Illinois team a week ago. This team just doesn't look right. Penn State has been outstanding. Second best scoring defense in the country, second in sacks in the country. They've held opponents to only 111 rushing yards. That's less than 2 yards per carry in 3 Big Ten games this season. They've only allowed 1 rushing touchdown this season. I like this Penn State defense. I think they're going to perform very, very well in this game in front of an electric crowd. I'm taking the Nittany Lions on Saturday night. Once again, if you want to bet on this game, head over to crossingbroad.com/FB, download Fox Bet. They will give you $20 when you open up an account, and they will match your first deposit up to $100.